So hitting recording. Welcome everyone. I'm so excited you guys are here live. I get to see your beautiful faces. Tonight we're going to be talking about the throat chakra, one of my favorite chakras to talk about. I don't think one is really more important than the other, but for me and the work that I've been doing for pretty much my whole life, sort of getting to this point, the throat chakra is special to me. And because I've had so much on my throat chakra journey, I feel really compelled to do this work with all of you. So just a little bit about me and my story and, why this is so important to me. I figured out pretty early on that I was a little bit different. I was pegged as sensitive, too sensitive, oversensitive, and figured out that I was a little bit different from the other kids. And I think that's a lot of solar plexus energy. Solar plexus is a chakra where we sort of feel out into our environments and bring energy back in and we figure it out. It's a feeling and knowing center. And so I was sensitive and I could feel when people weren't responding well to me, or sometimes, kids are mean and they just say it. But I figured out what wasn't appropriate and I started to put pieces of myself and I got quiet. I was much happier with adults than I was with children for a long time. And I have friends. It wasn't that I didn't have friends, but I never felt like I really fit in. And I started to change what I shared. I shared what was socially acceptable, and I went inward. I created a really rich inner life. I really activated my third eye chakra. I got really imaginative and really into being by myself, and that was okay. I still really like to be by myself, but it was a result of this happening. I had chronic sore throats as a child. I had chronic strep. I had a suppressed immune system where I got sick all the time. There were a couple of years where I was just constantly sick. And as a teenager, teenagers are really tough. I would actually get hives on my neck and my chest. And it became a joke that with my friends and family that was because I was upset and I wasn't saying it. And so my body had a physical reaction of like, I can't hold on to this anymore. We'll start giving you some signals. And that went on for like 4 or 5 years. Even though I was getting like signals, I still wasn't in a place where I felt comfortable sharing my inner self. I went to massage school when I was 23. And I had a teacher there, was one of the first people who really got me. I'm sure she was intuitive. And she used to say, I know I have to ask you twice how you are, because the first time you're not going to give me the answer. And I think that is a snapshot of my like early years. I would just say what people wanted to hear. And you really had to dig and really get to know me to get the real me. So this week, I feel like there's been a lot. And so Joanna was messaging earlier, there's been a lot of talk about physical manifestations of energy. And we see that with the throat the most, actually. It's this like little tiny space between our upper and our lower chakras. And so energetically, it's sort of this bottleneck where if it's, the energy's not flowing, it gets stuck here. And then we see this, we get really tight. All these muscles in our neck are really tiny and tight. I've been a body worker for 20 years, and I see people come in for neck and shoulder work the most. And I think there's a direct correlation between how we express ourselves, our stress, and our physical body. And so we see a lot of women with thyroid issues and hypothyroid or hyperthyroid. And I actually have Hashimoto's. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's 4 years ago and sort of went on a big spiral with my own health journey. And that actually brought me to energy work. I started my massage journey with energy work, and then I got sick and I sort of came back full circle because I was trying to find answers. I was trying to figure it out, what would help me get well. And I just kept coming back to the energy work. I actually felt like I wanted to be a health coach. That's what I thought I was going to do until about a year ago. And I, yes, Patty, I hit recording. So I had a whole website done a year ago around the journey to motherhood and health coaching and helping women get pregnant, stay pregnant, and have healthy babies. And then I had a huge breakdown because the energy work was calling me, and I had to follow the call. And so those of you who may have known me for a long time, I've been slowly revamping and rebranding, not totally rebranding, but like really following where I'm being led, and also being able to get to this point to speak about it. So that's a little bit of my story and journey. I've been working with my energy blocks every day for a year. And those of you who are in my group, I started my group last April. I did a 7-day chakra challenge. And I was reflecting on this last night when I posted the link for that challenge. And in April, I couldn't sleep for 3 days. And then I have this webinar, and last night I went to sleep like a baby. I mean, I was a little nervous today, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've had no stress. I ran through my notes. I mean, I worked on this, but I was ready. My energy was ready, and I checked so I need to mute somebody, I think. Okay, I got him. I check my priority pathway. I'll talk about the Chakredy in just a second. I check my energy every day, and there's a priority pathway that we get, chakra and organ energy. And today I did not have one. It was like there was nothing to do. I was all okay and all aligned. So it was pretty profound and exciting. Although I was a little scared. I didn't know that was a good thing at first. I was a little scared and thought maybe I had more work to do. But it felt really good. So the training that I went through, I've worked with some of the top teachers in the country. Alexis Salutos is the creator of Chakredy, and Deanna Midich, the creator of Food and Spirit. And Food and Spirit is more like food and lifestyle choices when I was going through health coaching. And but she's a brilliant woman, and a lot of the things that I talk about in my group every day, where we relate everyday life to chakras, comes from some of my experience with Deanna. And Chakredy is an energetic system. And through Chakredy is how I came to realize all of us have these throat chakra issues, because I would do energy assessments and groups and live, I'll do them when I'm live with a bunch of girlfriends. Everyone's throat chakra is contracted. So I'm going to just show you one of my tools, and I'm sorry for the phone people who won't be able to see this, but I use a pendulum in my work when I do assessments, and this is one of them. And Chakredy is a system and a complete framework. You can see on my wall, all of those are the chakra energies. And it's very complex, and it appeals to me. I'm like a mystical soccer mom, but I'm from the Midwest, and I'm very down to earth. And so I love I love the magic, but I'm also like, keep it real, people. That's me. So the pendulum moves in 4 different directions, and that's how I check in with your energy. The first direction is contracted, and that is sort of shut down. Chakra needs some help, right? And this is what shows up with throat. And the next one is chaotic. It's already moving. I can just think it and it follows. So chaotic is like a elliptical circle. And that's the energy, sort of like it's just undecided. It's wonky. It might be overacted or doing too much. Thank you. Yeah, my pendulums are beautiful. I've got more to share you guys. Wait till you see them all. And then we have open, which is healthy, and then expansive, which is the optimal. And the fact that I, have been testing, hundreds of mostly women, because that's just the circles I run in. We see that contracted throat chakra is also part of our male circuit. So we have 7 main chakras. The male circuit is root, solar plexus, and throat. Those are the 3 most top chakras that show up as contracted or chaotic, as a trouble spot. And I got sidetracked. Okay. Sorry, guys. So the Chakredy framework is that we look at the chakra presentation, and then we ask, what is the priority chakra energy? And then there's an organ energy. And those two energies combined give us information about the energy that we're looking at and working with. Sometimes it's an energy block. Sometimes it's energy potential that we need to tap into. And so later in the call today, I'm going to check in your energy and give you a throat priority pathway for you guys to work with today, which is super fun. And that's one of the things I do in my work and also do in my group, for those of you who are in my group. So chakra, just so for some of the people who don't know, we have 7 main chakras. They are spinning wheels. They connect our energy body to our physical body. So they funnel in, so they're wider at the front, and they funnel in and they get smaller at the body, and then they funnel out the back. So there's a front and back aspect. The back aspect is usually shut down. We see that mostly as being closed and cut off. And it is about allowing energy through. So, about allowing energy through, or sort of our will. And our front aspect is about how we, sort of put ourselves out in the world. And it's sort of our doing aspect of the chakra. So who would like to do a little demo? I'd like to show you the front and back aspect. Joanna, okay. Okay, you can be next. Who is that? Patricia. Hi, Patricia. I saw you drinking some wine, lucky girl. I had a headache all day today, so there's no wine drinking in my world. Welcome, new people who are joining. Okay, Joanna, so I'm going to connect in with Joanna's energy. I'm going to show you how fast one chakra energy changes, and I'm sorry for the phone people. You're going to have to take our word for it. Connect in with Joanna. So, presentation for your throat. It's contracted. It would not work if you were open. So I want you to put your hand on the back of your throat and think about opening it up. And then the pendulum started to go into open. So immediately it went from contracted to open. So that's how fast energy changes. And Patricia, you can be the next demo. So you can really support yourself in the moment with your intention, with breath, with thinking about opening up and putting your hand back here. I'll do that with solar plexus, because solar plexus is our power chakra and about the energy we put in the world. So if you're feeling depleted, opening up your back of your solar plexus is really helpful. So we know that throat chakra is about communication and expression and our truth, right? Those are the sort of the standard throat chakra energies. But there's some other energies that we don't really always think about. Lying, dishonesty. Hold on, I'm gonna mute somebody, a phone person. Okay. So lying to ourselves or others, feeling isolated, humiliation. I see humiliation show up a lot as being a child and in sort of getting, their voice shut down. Maybe they raised their hand in class and they were ridiculed, or their parents made fun of them. There's a lot of shaming that went on around, the time I grew up, a lot of different parenting styles. And so that humiliation piece shows up at the throat a lot. Withholding, playing small, having visibility issues, not being able to ask for help. They might be really good at giving, but they can't ask for help. Control, constant need for outside validation. And that was a big one for me. I'll just raise my hand right there. Outside validation. And I see that happening in Facebook a lot, as people looking for, they're posting, looking for that external feedback to feel good about themselves and to get, that extra boost that they need, which, we really want to look inside ourselves for that. And then struggles with vulnerability. Vulnerability is connected to the throat. So those are some of the throat chakra energies that, that you might not have thought about. And does anybody have any questions? I just wanted to make sure you're all good. So throat is in the lineup of, it's our fifth chakra, that sort of that tender space. But it's also in between two chakras that show up really big and expansive. And, when I do my throat chakra program, we call it, we talk about throat, but really it's it's like the throat's relationship to all the other chakras and the perspective of that. So third eye being expansive about our intuition, and heart being expansive in our love and compassion and gratitude. And so if we've got big expansive energies, here and here, then I'm just muting. Then it can sort of put some pressure on the throat. And this idea of, throat can be a little tricky to sort of support or figure out on your own. We sort of, we're all here knowing like, well, I have trouble with, speaking my truth, or I have trouble posting, or I have trouble, really talking about myself, or I have trouble speaking, or I can't do Facebook Live. That's, well, how do you change that? How do you move past that? Well, what I recommend is working with all of your chakras and, getting support from your lower chakras. So grounding your energy and being really centered. And I'm lost track in my notes. I'm bouncing all over here. Sorry, guys. It's my first webinar. And so grounding, bringing your energy down and starting from having a really good foundation. And root chakra also comes up as contracted and chaotic a lot. And we spend our time up here, most of us. So, how can you bring that energy down? What are some things that you can do to support yourself and grounding and having a good foundation, a good base? And sacral chakra is our connection to relationships and our emotions. And so, maybe it's journaling and really feeling how you feel and exploring, how you can sort of get this stuff out. But maybe it's baby stepping to like if you write it in the journal and then maybe you start posting on Facebook and then maybe then you're doing Facebook Live. So you're sort of gradually moving through your comfort zone. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support. All the fun stuff's coming later, but I had a flow and then I jumped. And sacral chakra is connected to courage and trust. Well, if we don't trust our voice, we're not going to express ourselves. So, it's cultivating and really getting to know yourself and so that you can trust that you are safe to express yourself and that you are coming from a really strong place. And courage is connected to sacral chakra. So it's digging deep and, having the courage to speak. Sometimes that, there's that quote of like speaking even if your voice shakes, and how many times you've had to say something difficult and have that shaky voice come through, but like you still did it. You got it out. So it's that's a great one to help support. So the solar plexus is my big one for supporting my throat. So as long as I show up and I am authentically myself, I can speak clearly and say what I need to say. If I am trying to be somebody else, or if I feel like I'm if I'm just not being, true to why I'm here and what I want to do, then that's when it trips me up. So as long as I'm authentic, and that's how I chose to show up every day in my group, and I'm just, that's the way I'm doing things. So that can be really supportive as well. And the heart chakra is like having a lot of self-love and compassion for yourself as you move through and work on these issues of being able to express yourself. So there were a couple more things. So physically, you know, going back to that like physical manifestation of throat chakra blocks, is that, you know, toning, we're going to do some toning in a little bit, is great. Singing is great for opening up our throat chakra. And then some of the yoga poses, the cobra pose and cat cow, both really good for opening it up. And then I'm going to show you another technique in a little bit that will be good for opening your throat chakra block. Hang on one second. Let me just find my place on my notes because I don't want to leave anything out. And laughing. Laughing is really good for our throat, right? So sort of like when you feel like you're stuck in that space, ask yourself, you know, how can you support yourself right now? You know, can you look at some of your lower chakras? Where are you feeling like you need to check in? And maybe doing some of those, I'm going to show you some toning work in a little bit. And then doing some physical poses. You know, with root, like there's so much richness that I can give you for root. Throat's a little bit trickier, which is why I feel like I have to, you know, do this and guide people along in this journey. So in the Chakredy system, we have those relationships between the chakra energy and the organ energy. And the organ energy is where we sort of store unresolved emotions and energy blocks. So I want to talk about energy blocks. And I actually had asked Spirit for an analogy so that I could talk about energy blocks. And what I got was, does anybody knit? Anybody a knitter here? When you knit a row and you drop a stitch, there's sort of, you know, it's still like held together, but there's this like little hole and you can keep going, but it's always going to be there. And that's sort of how an energy block shows, at least Spirit showed me in your energetic system. It's like this matrix, this beautiful, you know, scarf, and then there's little spots and you still work. Thank you, Caroline. You know, you still work, energy's still flowing, but there's some like little hiccups. And so those energy blocks, as we go through our life and we have a negative experience, it may not feel like it impacts you greatly, but it hangs out in your system for until you clear it. And so in my work, I'm a little energy detective, and I hunt down those blocks, and we figure out what age they're from, and you know what they are around. I had 2 women this week, both who had trauma around moving when they were younger, and that's what showed up for them to clear, and it made sense to them, and it was really resonating. And then but they were also like, well, I wouldn't have thought of that. You know, it's not like I feel like I'm carrying around this baggage from, you know, when I was 10 years old and I had to move and I didn't want to move. So they may not be in the forefront, but they're impacting your energetic system. And when we clear them and allow your system to recalibrate, energy flows better, and we start seeing things happen. Interesting, Jamie. We start seeing things happen. So I don't want to call anybody out, but I had a session with somebody on here today we did some energy clearing, and she had some amazing manifestations. So that good things start to happen when you are in an energetic alignment, right? And when you are not carrying around these energetic blocks. So we see a lot happen with the throat. You know, it's such a little space, and it's a very easily impacted, seems more vulnerable than the other chakras. So there's a lot that can be held here. And some of the common throat organ energies in the Chakredy system that I see coming up is spleen. Spleen is connected to worry, analyzing, and dwelling. And then pancreas is also a really big one, which is connected to our worth. And when we don't feel worthy, we do not speak our truth. When we don't feel good enough, we don't put ourselves out there. We don't put, we are not making sales. We are not getting on calls. We are not, living the life we were meant to live. And so sometimes these deep organ energies of these unresolved emotions hold us back. And when we release them, the charge is different. You feel different. It's really powerful work. So I'm excited to share this with you guys at the end of the call. And a couple others: gallbladder, resentment, blame, and manipulation shows up a lot. And large intestine, critical, controlling, and compulsive. And large intestine, I actually like the balanced version of large intestine for throat is limitless. And I love that for throat is the idea of limitless expression is really powerful for me to tap into. So, so let me look at the chat box and see if anybody had any questions. And then if you've got any right now, this is a good time to ask. If anybody on the phone wants to jump on and ask a question. You guys are so sweet. You're just giving me lots of love. Okay, Patty had a question. Is the throat chakra one of the most complex, or can it cause the most block between above and below? I think the throat chakra solar plexus is probably the most complex chakra of the system. But it's definitely probably right next to it in the lineup of difficulties, and definitely one that we see as shut down the most. Catherine? I have not heard about collapsing like this way on each other, but collapsing inward, yes. And then I'm just scrolling and making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I can see all the group chats about the microphone stuff. Let me just take a sip of water. Patty, I think she meant like collapsing on top of each other. So from like root to crown or crown to root, sort of smushing or falling down. At least that's what I gathered. So is there anything that I talked about that you'd like me to elaborate on? I saw some nodding. I just want to make sure that I'm covering things for people, and because I can go a little bit more deeper if you need to. It's hard to keep things general in in an hour, but it's also really rich, and there's a lot to talk about. So, last year when I had like an emotional breakdown. It was that. Anybody have like a major download where you have the breakthrough before you have the breakdown before the breakthrough? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the organ and the chakras. So we've got the 7 main chakras, and they move really fast. So they're always in motion. And if they're, I'm testing you in the moment, and if it's contracted one moment, it could be, you could go and meditate and then it opens. Organ energy is where things don't change so much on their own. And it's where we store deeper unresolved emotions. And there's a relationship between, at least in Chakredy, that between the chakra and organ energy, that those energies gives us a picture of what is going on with you energetically. So that may fit together in a minute when I start doing some energy work for you guys. And it's sort of like we look through the organ energy through the chakra lens, and it just helps us understand what it is that we're working with. Does that help? Yeah. Marcia, you get the shaky voice. Yeah, it can be hard to really put ourselves out there, especially in front of people. I'm surprised I haven't had any shaky voice. I actually, oh, we can do another demo. So one of the things that I take every day, so you guys can see, this is a Chakredy throat chakra remedy. And so they're little salt crystals, and they are energetically charged. So they're like, let's see if I can show you. And they're little crystals, and you can take a pinch and let it dissolve in your mouth like a flower remedy. And so they're energetically supporting the chakras. So there's 7 chakras and there's 13 organ energy remedies. So I will test you, Patricia. So I'm going to connect in with your energy. And so the VIP version of my program has a throat chakra remedy. So I'm going to connect in with Patricia, although you guys can buy them separately. They're really amazing. And Emily, I can steer you. So I'm connected in with Patricia. It's telling me yes again. It just follows me when I speak. And presentation for your throat chakra is contracted. Okay, so I'm going to pick up and then it changes direction. So it goes instantly from contracted to open. And so you can carry these around like a crystal. I know lots of ladies who put crystals in their bras and in their pockets and walk around with them. And so you can hold your throat chakra remedy when you feel like you need support, or maybe you're going to go do a video, or maybe you're going to do a live stream, or, write a post, anything that you feel like you're working with your throat chakra, you can sort of use this as support. And I've been working with them for about a year, and they're amazing. They're absolutely magical. So yes, so I will, I know they're pretty awesome. So I will send the link for that at the end. So I just want to talk a little bit about why. So, as you can see, there's a lot going on with our throat, and we're going to work on we're going to identify some throat energies that you guys need to work with in a minute. But last year when I had the breakdown before the breakthrough, and really felt like I had to jump into the energy work as my main focus. And that's what I was getting all the signs for, but I was like dug in my heels and I wasn't quite ready for it. I had a very clear vision and download of how I can use this work, but it was around money. And I really didn't want to do money necessarily, money work. There's lots of people doing money work. I really felt called to do throat chakra work and help people be able to open up and speak their truth and express themselves to their fullest. And but the money work sort of keeps like following and making its way in there. But I felt like really called to do this work first and have this be my first group program. And I in this program, it's a 4-week healing experience. You're going to get a taste of what I'll be doing on the call. And it's very personal. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one attention from me. You get to work with your own unique throat chakra blocks. And we're going to be, it's sort of a healing experience. Week 1, we'll be working with intentions and creating an energetic container. Over the weekend, I created an energetic container of the people I was drawing who needed to be with me and working with me, and sort of making a little crystal grid. I got very magical over the weekend. It was a lot of fun. And then every week you get a live call with me. We'll be working with your throat chakra story and retelling that story, and working with triggers and working with money blocks, because there are money blocks in the throat, and a lot of us are entrepreneurs, and I don't want you being held back by any money blocks in your throat. And then looking at the lower chakras like we talked about. So knowing how to support your throat and what are going to be your strengths and helping you move forward. There'll be live calls once a week. You will get your own energy assessments every week with your own energy blocks. And this is a beta program price at $222. and the price is going to go up on Thursday. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you either message me. I'm going to put the link to the program in the chat box. And there's a lot of value. I've got some really amazing women who have already signed up, and there's limited spots. So if you're interested, I'd really like for you to contact me and or just sign up through the sales page, and I'll get you all set up. So who's ready for some energy work? I can't see half of you guys, but I can see some of you. All right. Awesome. Okay. So for anybody who is maybe don't have your video on, if you are in a place where you can turn video on, or just make sure you chat with me. So I'm looking at my screen, and I don't know who the phone people are. So, hi, Caroline. So I'm looking at my screen, and Kimmy is to my is next. So what I think for the phone people, what I think I'm going to do for you guys is give you a collective priority pathway to work with on your own, so that you're not left out. I feel bad that I can't connect with you because I don't know your name. All right, so I'm going to connect it with Kimmy. And presentation for throat is contracted. All right, so we're going to ask for a priority pathway for her throat chakra. We're just going to work with throat energies today. So I'm going to be using my intention to work with these just with the throat. But sometimes when you do a session with me, we just ask your overall energy. All right, so connected to truth, expression, surrender, and thyroid, lung, heart, spleen, pancreas, which is pancreas is truth. So remember those two while I go through, and then we're going to do, once I've done everyone's assessment, then we're going to do some energy work. All right, connected in with Joanna. Presentation for throat, still contracted. And 1, 2, 3. So 3 is also surrender. Okay, I just double checked to make sure it was you. It is. Make sure didn't bring in Kimmy's energy on over. All right, thyroid, lung, heart, spleen, decisive. So the energy of decisive. So third chakra and decision making, right? You know, if we don't trust our own voice or our own, ourself, we don't make clear decisions. That's something that came up for me a lot. Okay, Catherine, you are next. Connecting with Catherine. Presentation for throat is open, wonderful, and priority pathway for your throat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, choice. And thyroid, lung, heart, spleen again, decisive. So choice and decisive. Oh, you're welcome, Joanna. You're on your, Abigail. You're on your, okay, Abigail. So I've got your name, that helps. If I don't, I can see you, Abigail. Okay. So, so write those down as I'm giving them. Patricia, connect him with Patricia. We'll see if that remedy kept your throat open. Presentation for throat. No, it went back to contracted. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, which it was voice, and thyroid, lung, heart, spleen, pancreas, truth. So voice and truth. I got that one the other day. Okay. And then Marsha. Connect him with Marsha. Hello, darling. All right. Presentation for throat is contracted. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is communication. And thyroid, lung, heart, spleen, pancreas. Pancreas is truth. All right, Twyla. All right, connect in with Twyla. Presentation for throat, contracted. You guys came to the right place. Everyone's got, we had one open. All right, connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is choice. And thyroid, lung, heart, heart. Heart is share. So choice and share. And Caroline. Hi, Caroline. Hold on. I'm just going to mute that. There we go. Caroline gave me some energy earlier. Thank you, love. That was so nice. I had a really bad migraine today. It's just gone now, which is nice. I was like, really, how am I going to do this? All right, connected in. Presentation for throat is contracted and connected to 1, 2. So expression. And thyroid, lung, heart, heart as well, share. So expression and share. Interesting. Sort of like the same thing, but different aspects of it. Jamie Lynn. Hi, Jamie. All right. Connect in. And presentation for throat is contracted. Connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is validation. And thyroid, lung, heart, spleen, pancreas, and pancreas. Do you guys see, so truth and validation. Do you see how there's sort of a pattern? We're seeing some of the same organ energies show up because most of us have those blocks that are stored in those organs. They're very common. I got pancreas for almost all the time for about a year. And I hear you on the validation. Okay. Val, did you just join us, Val? Okay. So I'm doing some energy assessments. You'll have to catch the replay to get all the good stuff. But the energy assessment I have to do with you, and you can do the energy exercise with us, okay? So I'm connecting in with your energy and then seeing if you're contracted, chaotic, open, or expansive. So we're connected in. Presentation for throat is contracted. And the energy is connected to it. Truth, expression, surrender, voice. And thyroid, lung, heart, spleen. Spleen is the energy of decisive. So just write those down so that you've got them. And then Patty, we got 6 more, guys. You guys are being so patient. I'm going as fast as I can. Connecting with Patty. Connecting with 1, 2, 3, 4. So voice and thyroid, lung, heart, spleen again. So it's like spleen, pancreas, and that's why I talked about those earlier. So spleen is decisive. You would think I would know them all by heart, but I actually try not to memorize them. So we have an iPad user. I'm assuming that you can see there's only one person on an iPad, so I'm just going to give you a priority pathway and just connect in with your energy. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is voice and thyroid, lung, heart. And heart is share. So iPad user, those are your energies to work with. And then we have Emily. Connect in with Emily. All right, priority pathway 1, 2, 3, 4. For voice, similar energy showing up too. And thyroid, lung, heart, spleen, pancreas. Pancreas again, truth. Those are for you, darling. Carrie, one of my biz besties. Connect in with Carrie. And presentation for throat is contracted. Okay. And priority pathway, 1, 2, 3. 3 is surrender. And thyroid, lung is free. Oh, that's perfect for you. I love that. All right, Abigail. Connect in with Abigail. Presentation for throat is contracted. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is voice. And thyroid, lung again, freedom, free. All right. And the phone. So the one person who's on the phone, this is for you, your priority pathway. Or I'm going to check in with your energy. Presentation for your throat is contracted. And your energies are 1, 2, 2 is expression. And thyroid, lung, heart to share. Okay. Interesting. We had all upper... we had like the first couple organ energies, so we didn't have any of the lower body organ energies show up. So everyone's got their energy, right? So we're going to do a little energy work. First, what we're going to do is just ground ourselves, okay? So I'd like you to, we're going to do two things. We're going to do what I normally teach, and then I'm going to add in something new. Because we've been learning new things in the advanced Chakredy, and it's so much fun to bring it in. So the first thing we're going to do is put one hand on our throats, because we all have a throat priority pathway, and then one hand on your organ energy. If you spleen and pancreas are on the left side, so if you have one of those organs, you can just put your hand there, or heart, or lung, and we're going to I'm actually going to do some energy work. You can close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. And I want you to think about opening up your crown chakra and connecting into source energy. And breathing that source energy down through your crown, down through third eye, down through throat, down through heart. Maybe linger in heart space for a minute and just breathe into your heart, open and expand your heart space. Feels so good to be here. And breathe that energy down through solar plexus, down through sacral chakra, down through root, and ground that energy deep into Mother's Earth. Once you feel that connection to Mother Earth, ask for some energy to support this work that we're going to do. Maybe you need to send down more than one cord. Maybe you need to make that cord wider. And once you feel that connection, breathe that energy back up to throat and connect that point with your organ energy. And just breathe in between those 2 points and call to mind those energies. And what do they mean to you? What's the message? What's the block that you want to release around those energies? Allow yourself to feel it. And if you're comfortable, I'm going to do some toning work, because that's where I bring in the healing vibrations that that's my part of my magic. But toning helps open up your throat chakra and shift the vibration. It loosens up those energy blocks that are deep in those organs. It massages your energy system. So even if you feel like you can just hum, where you're all muted except for me, so if you don't feel like you're going to bother family members, this is a great way to explore opening up the throat chakra and releasing those energies. So I'm going to tone 3 times, and you can just listen or you can join me. When you're ready, bring yourself back to the present and open your eyes. And we're going to do one more thing with those points. So I want you to take your hands with all of your fingers, and we're going to tap our throats, slowly taking it up. And then one hand going to the organ energy and tapping the organ energy at the same time. Don't forget to breathe. Nice and slow. Releasing any little lost stitches. And we're going to tap our crowns slowly, slower. There we go, slower. Yeah, I could go from front to back. And third eye. You could even do your brow bone. Your third eye sort of encompasses a lot of area energetically. And jaws are really connected to throat. It can be really tight. Hearts. Solar plexus. Yeah, I see a lot yawning. Good releasing. And sacral chakra, lower abdomen. And then roots. You can reach around and slowly tap your tailbone. Nice. If anybody wants to share their experience with that, you're welcome to. You can either unmute yourself or you can put in the chat box. And I'm just going to go through and quickly connect them with your energies and show you where your throat chakras are. So connecting with Kimmy's throat. Look at that. Open. Joanna. Joanna's throat. The pendulum doesn't even want to stop. Connecting with Catherine. Presentation for throat. Open. Patricia. Connecting with Patricia. Presentation for throat. Open. You guys get the idea. I'm going to test everybody, but this is what happens after you do some work like that. So it's very simple. Connecting with Marsha. Presentation for throat. So Marsha's definitely, it's moving faster now. So okay, it started out a little slow. Connecting with Twyla. Presentation for throat. And Caroline. Presentation for throat. Expansive, nice work. Jamie. Connecting with Jamie. Presentation for throat. Open. Val. We like joined our call late, joined at the best part. Is open. And Patty is open. And iPad is open. And Emily, presentation for throat is open. And our one phone person, presentation is open. So well done, you guys. So when I do toning, I am bringing in some multidimensional healing. Joanna was actually one of the people a couple months ago who told me this was be my gift. And I know it happened a couple months ago, and I didn't think that toning would be my thing. But that's where so what happens for me is like the time and space around my head changes, and it sounds different every time, so that what sound comes through is what you need to hear. And so I took that collective energy, and that's what comes through is that healing vibration. Toning can be really powerful. So like I said, if that's something that resonated with you, you can do on your own. You can just tone to ah or om, and it really does help, get that energy system flowing and sort of activates it. And then the tapping is another thing to activate your chakras. So if you're feeling sluggish or you need to like sort of bring yourself back to center, that's a great way to sort of connect in and ground. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to put the link to the 4-week program in there because it's going to be all, oh, we have an iPad raise their hand. Okay. You are very welcome. So how do I I'm going to unmute you, honey. Do you have a question? Oh, she muted herself. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know if somebody on iPad can't join. But the 4-week program, she may have read. Okay, that's a good point. You can always contact me, either through my email or the sales page. So there's a couple options. There's a VIP option where you get a half hour with me and you get the throat chakra remedy, which I highly recommend. It's a really good deal. And there's a payment plan option as well, because I really want this to be accessible for everybody. I feel called to do this work. It's part of my mission. I really want to help you, work through these blocks. So it'll be very personalized. You'll be getting your own energy reading every week, root through crown, and then working with your own throat chakra blocks. And then, except for week 3, where we'll be working with money blocks connected to the throat. So it's going to be November 7th is our start date. And this is early bird pricing. So the price is going to go up on Thursday. So I'd love to have you join at this price. And we've got to do a giveaway. I almost forgot. Hey. So how many people do we have on? We have on 14. So why don't we do, I'm going to put this in, Patty had this idea that we could just pick a number 1 through 14. Why don't you do that? Put in something in the chat box, pick a number, and then if we get multiple people with the same number, we'll go from there. I'm gonna have some water. This hour flew by, you guys. Holy cow. Okay, we got multiple 2s. Joanna or... All right, I'm gonna stop looking. Oh, Jamie, you got an angel number? Okay. So, so I was gonna pendulum test the numbers. Does that sound good to everyone? Okay. And I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna go from 14 down. So I closed the chat box, so I'm not looking. All right, so 14, 13, 12, number 12. Who's 12? Anybody pick 12? Ha! Nobody picked 12? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is Emily on my screen. Pendulum doesn't want to do a giveaway. All right, I'm going to do another one because I'm awesome. Emily, you get a free half hour with me. All right, we'll do another one. So everyone picked a number. I'm going to go. I'm going to go from front. We'll do another free half hour. So 1, 2, 3, 3. Who picked 3? Ah, Patricia picked 3. All right. Yay. So if anybody is going to sign up for the Third Chakra program, whether you're on the call or on the replay, there you get a soul portrait done by Dora Rodriguez. She's an amazing channel artist, and she has a message. She channels a message for you in the Third Chakra program, and the stuff she is bringing through. She emailed me. She's like, "Girl, you got your work cut out for you." There's some intense stuff. In throat chakra stuff is intense, so I just want you to know I'm very serious. I'm going to be holding a really strong space. It's already being set up now, and that's, you know, I've got some goodies in store for you. There's a lot that I'm bringing in that we haven't touched on here, and it's going to be an amazing group. And so far, the women who have joined have been just beautiful, and I'm really excited. Can you tell us more about the chakra story? What chakra story? Which part? Explain more. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. And you know what? I may do is I'm going to stop the recording.